So today I'm going to speak about the progression analysis. Back to the Humphreys. From Octopus, we are coming back to the Humphreys progression. So glaucoma is a blinding disease, as we know. It's a silent, slowly progressive disease. So establishing the diagnosis and monitoring the progression is important. Has an important role in glaucoma management, as it helps to retain the quality of life. The quality of life is more affected in glaucoma since the fields are progressing. So why the progression? Because the rate of progression provides important information about the likelihood of visual impairment during the patient's lifetime. Guidelines suggest that we have to determine the rate of progression before starting the management. Not all patients progress at the same rate. So goal of the glaucoma management is to limit the progression and its impact on the patient's quality of life, including the economic concerns and the drug compliance. So how are we going to detect the progression? We see progression with normal IOPs as well. Although we know that higher IOP fluctuation and higher presenting IOP is more likely to progress in both functionally and structurally. So repeated visual field testing is important to establish a good baseline and to detect the progression. Along with that, structural like optic disc drawing or imaging is also essential to know the structural progression. We still don't know which progression starts earlier, structural or functional. So still, usually we see structural progression first, then we see the functional progression. So how to detect a progression? If there is a new location of scotoma, if there is an enlargement of previous defects, and if there is a deepening of depressed spots, we detect the progression. Once we detect the progression, we have to determine the rate of progression by repeated visual fields, which following us with the same strategy. And then we have to adjust the treatment accordingly and delay the progression, hence preserving the quality of life. So how to detect the progression? What are the prerequisites? We have to establish the reliable baseline. And functional assessment requires repeated visual fields to confirm the visual field defect. At least 2 consecutive visual fields should have the repeatable visual field defect. A series of reliable fields with more than minor fluctuation mean deviation suggests the progression. Same strategy for repeat visual fields examination has to be done. We cannot compare full threshold with CETA like that. So we have to do full threshold only, or we have to do CETA's threshold only. So visual field is stable, but in advanced glaucoma shows more fluctuation versus stable but early glaucoma. It means fluctuations are more in advanced glaucoma than early diseases. So coming to the progression, we can do this computer assisted as well. We have 2 types of analysis. One is event-based analysis, one is trend-based analysis. Coming to the differences between event and trend analysis. In event analysis, we compare with baseline. The points, individual points are compared with baseline, and it is sensitive to early change, and confounders affect the analysis. Event analysis generally detect the progression earlier than trend analysis, which is very good, and we require minimum 3 fields for to do the event analysis. While in trend analysis, we look for trend over time. It means we need more time to suggest predict the progression. So not sensitive to early change, less affected by confounders, provides progression rate, which is not provided by event analysis. Trends may be extrapolated to predict the future loss if there is no change in therapy. So minimum of 5 fields is necessary to analyze in trend-based analysis. So here is an example of GPA summary where we see a baseline data and a current examination, and we have a VFI plot and bar, which is part of trend analysis. Here we have progression analysis at the end of the follow-up examination to give us idea about event analysis. So what is this visual field index bar and all? This visual field index, this is a part of trend analysis, which will have direct correlation with the severity of the disease and prediction of the loss in future. So VFI is plotted in y-axis and the age is plotted in x-axis. So all the visual fields, VFI is plotted to get a slope. If it is a negative slope, then it is a progression. If it is a positive slope, it is usually a learning curve. So this is a VFI bar, which tells us how much visual field is remaining and how much visual field is going to lose in next 5 years. So decrease in mean deviation of 1 decibel per year or decrease in VFI by -3% per year is considered significant. In this trend analysis, we can see that there is no rate of progression calculated because they need a minimum of 5 exams as we have described earlier. So rate of progression is not calculated because we should have 5 exams. This is another example of GPA summary where patient was followed from 2007 to 2014. All the visual field visual field indices are plotted here. So here we can see a stable field. There is no change in the fluctuation at all in the visual field index. So rate of progression is 0. This is an ideal glaucoma patient which everyone will want to have, but we are not that fortunate because glaucoma is different in different people. So the GPA summary and the follow-up examination. Now we come to GPA, and this criteria is important for our event-based analysis, where the point deterioration from baseline at p less than 5%, if it is deteriorating, it is shown in the full triangle and empty triangle. When the deterioration at the same location at 2 consecutive tests is noted, then it is half-filled triangle. If the deterioration at the same location is 3 consecutive tests, is completely filled triangle. We have a GPA alert message by the computer-assisted software where they say it is possible or likely progression. If it is a possible progression, the same 3 or more points show deterioration in at least 2 consecutive tests, we have to say it as a possible progression, whereas same 3 or more points show deterioration in at least 3 consecutive tests to tell it as a likely progression. So this is an example of to show you the event analysis and the trend analysis. It's a GPA summary. Where we have 2 baseline examination at 2011 and 2012, and when followed up for till 2017, in follow-up examinations we can see the possible progression here and likely progression here because the field has progressed from 2012 to 2017. So this is a trend analysis showing the negative slope and faster progression rate. The rate of progression is -5.3, and this is the area where we should look for event analysis. There full field triangles and showing the likely progression. This is the event-based analysis, and the VFI plot is how the visual field is progressing over time. This is called the trend analysis. So here is an example for another GPA summary where the patient was followed up from 2007 to 2015, where the visual field is almost stable. There is no progression. Rate of progression is -0.1. So it will flag as no progression is detected. So similarly, we have here if you see, this is a patient which was followed up from 2007 to 2012. Some patients really need a very long learning time to learn how to do the visual fields. This patient has a very long learning curve. He took about 5 years, 2007, about 7 years to do a good field. So setting a good baseline is important for assessment of progression. Here we can see the positive slope in the VFI plot. This indicates the long learning curve. So here, this is an example like how the baseline should be chosen. So here, 2007 patient had come to us in 2007 and lost for follow-up later and did not come till 2014. In between, patient has not used the medication properly. So there is a large fluctuation from 2007 to 2014. If we keep the 2007 baseline as still the baseline, so the field will continue to show the progression, possible and likely progression. In the same patient, if we change the baseline, if we remove the 2007 baseline and you can see this, though the trend analysis shows from 2014 it is stable, but if you compare you put the baseline as 2007, it shows progression. Same way, if we remove the 2007, there is hardly no progression. Rate of progression is 0.6 decibels. So selecting the baseline plays an important role in determining the rate of progression. Okay, there's no progression detected once the baseline is changed. So this is a, BFI plot showing the definite progression, but the present, but because of the age, presenting age is 44. So younger, basically young patient with expectancy of longer life expectancy, we need to give an aggressive treatment, change the treatment, so that arresting the progression makes an important role here to save the quality of life. If the same progression rate is seen in a 75-year-old male or female, so if there is a rate of progression that's similar, then I would monitor the patient depending on the because of the age and life expectancy. So the age of the patient at presentation and what is the severity of the presenting visual field loss is important in determining when to be aggressive and when to not be aggressive. So in Humphreys fields, baseline, if MD is less than minus 15 decibels, so software adds a disclaimer that baseline MD is out of range, as we described here. Before changing the treatment strategy, other be addressed. When the progression is, whether the patient is using the test properly, eye drops properly as advised, using once instead of twice, all these has to be assessed. When progression is identified, the clinician should ensure that the progression is consistent with the glaucoma. Rule out other causes of apparent progression in visual fields, neurological, like presence of capsular opacity, recent onset of retinal problem, worsening of retinal problem, the learning curve, and renewable fields. All these has to be taken care. So we have to see whether the progression is real or whether the progression is pseudo. So here I have an example who has peripheral defects in due to parietal photocoagulation. Is a diabetic retinopathy patient basically. So his visual field worsened in spite of presence of IOP and disc stable. So again, when we repeated the fields into HFA improved. This is basically due to the worsening of the poor test performance. I'll take one more minute. I have a couple of examples, that's all. So next we have the '16 has clinical examination. He had a dense PCO. Once the YACAPS is done, his visual fields improved. So we have to look do good clinical examination before coming into conclusion of whether the field is progressed or not. So here you can see the dip in the sensitivity due to the PCO, and after the YACAPS, the sensitivity increased post YACAPS. So HFA is worsened due to PCO here, not due to real progression. So here is another example. So where the patient of diabetic retinopathy is followed up. We thought it is progression, but on clinical examination, we saw it has severity of the diabetic retinopathy was changing, though the IOP and disc was stable. So we have to see we have to do the thorough fundus examination before coming into the conclusion of progression of glaucoma. So this is the last example where patient was fairly okay. So he's a one-eyed patient who we followed up from 2010 to 2016, is almost okay. But in 2016 June, he came back with a sudden drop in vision without, he was not able to move around also. When we checked back the history, he said he had a stroke in March 2016. So the hemifield defect added on to the superior arcuate defect, contributing to the 3-quadrant defect. So this is the defect due to the glaucoma, and this is defect due to CVA, the stroke history. So we have to be very conscious and be very suspicious about other diseases. Like we should see a patient as a whole, not only the eye or only the glaucoma. We have to be like vigilant about the other history, like for example worsening, any factors which is contribute in the worsening. Initially we would have written patient is not asthmatic. In between he would have become asthmatic, or for some reason he is using steroids or anything. So that is worsening. So that is making the glaucoma worsen. So we have to be cautious about these factors. So here he had a severe history. If we misdo ask, because he's a one-eyed, I don't have any comparison field for the other, because I do not know that is hemifield, there's a hemianopic defect. So the history is very much important. In every time when he comes, he might be a newly diagnosed diabetic, he might be newly diagnosed other diseases. We have to update the systemic history. So I conclude my presentation by telling the clinical decision should never be driven by perimetry alone. A combination of complete ophthalmic examination, including IOP, nerve fiber layer defects, neuronal rim examination, or presence of disc hemorrhage has to be documented, and rest of the eye for other clinical details which contribute for the progressed fields like PCO, presence of panital photocoagulation, vein occlusion, or cataract has to be taken into account, and we have to correlate with field and OCT RNFL changes and see the patient as a whole, like stroke or tumor or compression defects, which will contribute to the field changes. That may not be the true progression. So would be the best approach in monitoring the progression. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shruti. Thank you.